Hi, I am walking you through what the project-based learning section of government will be. I have put together this, I've used this mock legislative making process multiple times. It's literally told to me by my kids that it's their favorite project that they do. They also like another one, but this is really high on their list. They say that it helps them learn the most. So what I've included here is, basic understanding of what project-based learning is, where students are self-directed, doing an inquiry on what they want to learn about or do. I've put in how the processes work, but I'm going to scroll through here and get to the things that might help you be really effective in doing this. All right. So first of all, I always have the kids give me the things that they're interested in early off in the class. And I do it really early so that I can get them to start thinking about what they want to do, so that when we get to the research project or the research component of this project, they are already on board and they know they're really focused on that already. I've asked them again and again. This is a summer school class, and let me go see if I can pull up the other page I had for you. So what I've done is I've put how I've done it before is here in the part 3 of this. When you're asking the kids exactly what they want to solve and ask them what they want the government to do and think wildly outside the box, I would take this component right here. I'd actually keep this list and then pare it down to something that is manageable and be like, all right, you've already put your name on these. You've already gotten a list of the things that the kids want to do. So keep these lists that they share with you and then write their names down next to them, and then you will have a pre-made grouping of kids, and they won't want to be switching for, I want to work with this guy, or I want to work with this guy because this guy's really smart, or this guy's really, I know I can rely on him. Those things are all well and good, but you really want them to be engaged in something that they already have an attachment to. All right? And so this is the part where I would keep, they've already put the list. It takes me a minute to get everyone, I usually ask them to list their top 5 most important issues that they like to work on, and then I painstakingly organize them into groups of 3. That's a key point here. Groups of 3 or less. I don't think your summer school class will be that big. I'm trying to get back to my document. Sorry. I'm not the most. All right, so if you get that pre-made and you go and you tell them beforehand, oh, are you going to be on this team? And you're just double checking with them. And they go, yeah, I want to work on that. I want to work on that. I want to work on that. And get that kind of buy-in that will help you in the long run. Okay, so you need to frame them that they now become the congressperson. Hello, Representative Munoz. Hello, Representative Mendoza. Whatever. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about is doing the research, right? So I send them to a couple of places, epi.org. I send them to think tanks and organizations that are already working on the issue. And you can look that up by looking up a list of non-governmental organizations, etc. But I have them literally go climate change advocacy or climate change lobbyist, get really focused, or sustainable energy lobbyist. And I do that to help them get to the place where they can fill out the information the best that they can. Now, I'm going to scroll down really fast down to this document. I think I've included all of them with you. So, in the first day activities I shared with you, there's a inventory, examination of the things that you know and learned. And that's basically when I have kids do the researching the bill. Okay, I added this list down here at the end. I don't know why this is odd. It should be all on 2 pages, front and back, almost always. All right, so list what you think is the most is a must in your bill to solve the problem. Okay, so since this is a shortened time frame and a smaller class, a smaller time frame to get the project done, you could just have them do one piece of research. So you got a team of 3 kids working on a bill, and you facilitate them to get some good research. You have them read the documents. Then make sure that they have written this list. What did they learn from their document, and the things they think must be in their bill to solve the problem. And then you facilitate the conversation at the table with the team at this point. Right? That would be the best thing to do. So you could shorten it from 3 to 1, and then also this is where you want to highly focus on what the kids already have been presented and have. You're looking for them to have overlap and to get agreement so they can get very focused on what they're working on. All right. Now, I wanted to talk about the reference materials. I gave you a video about writing your bill. I gave you a video about researching your bill, but I just wanted to talk to you specifically. This giant document itself is a reference. I did something called YLI, an online mock legislation process, and I did that for several years. It's just much bigger than and requires a lot of time that we don't have really. Well, actually, so many times we just didn't have the access to the online arena. So I just kind of modified it for my own benefit, my own use. Now, when you get the kids, so this is the second piece of reference material I want to go over. All right. When you get the kids, you are already telling them, who their audience is. If they're already a congressperson, they know their audience is other congresspeople. They know all these things about it. But I included this particular thing because I have them now, it's just something I learned, that if I have them write a nice policy brief, like a nice paragraph that frames their argument at the beginning, then they're much better at organizing all the components of a bill. All right, so at the end of this writing a policy brief, there's 2 policy brief examples, and I would definitely go over this with your kids. I would read the not so good policy brief and then read a better policy brief and have them, list what was good about it and what was bad about it, and get to the place where they're analyzing and seeing that the first policy brief is very clinical and doesn't really get people engaged and doesn't sound like a PSA or something that's getting people excited to solve the problem, and you really want people to get like advertising about solving the problem. I'm going to go back to the other one. Now, all the documents that I have the kids make have all these parts so that they understand bills have all these parts. And so I have the overview go here. Okay. Then they create a title, and then they do the purpose. Purpose is usually like a sentence. Okay, here's the bill. Quit the quotas bill, a bill to ensure, and that's a brief statement about what the bill. But the overview is another part of your bill. All right. Eligibility. You need to not have anything that discriminates against people. And they need to focus on, like so often they think, like police brutality, for example, is a usual bill that is done in this class. So they'll talk about the person who is brutalized, but they don't understand the client for ending police brutality is police departments. So you need to stop it as a culture and a behavior within the department. And so the eligibility is like any United States police force, any policing agency in any state of the United States, something along those lines, so that they could get the money and the funding to change their culture or to broaden their. So like it gets really brief. Eligibility is a brief statement unless it's individuals, and then you're identifying some more things and still, once again, not discriminating. Okay? All right. Terms and benefits. Who is this going to benefit? How long is it going to be? And then there's some examples. All right, so now you're getting it. So here is what the bill, it gets really small, doesn't it? It looks so big in the reference materials, but it's really, really small. And the last thing, fiscal impact. I don't have kids get too stressed out about this. I have it be very brief. Whatever their research said would be the positive or cost-saving benefits. I make sure they do that. And if there is no cost-saving benefit, there's just a moral compass kind of thing, I focus in on that. All right. Now, these reference materials, did I not include examples of people's bills? All right. I don't know if I included an example of people's bills. I have lots of example bills. I have an infinite number of bills. Here we go. I found one finally. All right, the American Dream Act. So this is kind of the general way it looks. I should download this and upload it into your file so you have it. So here's an overview where they put their main argument. Notice they called each other representative such and such for the whole bill. They did a simple sentence for purpose eligibility and the terms and the benefits and the fiscal impact. All right. So my online class, I had them do PSAs online, and now that you guys are going to be in person, let me go back to the document I shared with you. Woohoo! I hope you're not getting dizzy. All right, I'm just going to go quickly. All right, I literally do like a mock ledge, and I put one of those representatives at each group, and they do the legislating, and they do the presentation of the bills. And so it's congressman and committee. These look so big. All right. So when you get this, make sure that you make it smaller. I'm fairly certain I made them smaller so that you can see the whole document. All right, there you go. Okay, so each committee selects a leader, and that's a person that exhibits lots of power, and they organize and order the presentation. They decide who has to go first. You know, they get a little bit of power, and but they have to do a little bit of facilitating. So I would definitely choose someone that is able to get their classmates engaged. All right. Every single person reads their own bill. I have each of the committee members ask questions and keep track of all the things that they themselves do. So read the bill aloud, hear the, I just don't understand why they don't look right. I don't understand why my PowerPoints in this document are so big I can't see. All right, so you read the bill aloud. Each committee member brainstorms, writing down their 2 questions and their 3 pros and cons. This is the kind of thing that I do. Like, they read the bill, and then they start writing questions, and then they start asking the questions. And whoever owns the bill needs to be the one that answers it. And then the speaker or the leader of the committee facilitates them having a discussion. And, you know, everybody shares their questions, and everybody shares their, and the person has to answer those questions. And then they have to vote on whether they want that bill to happen and how they would like to change it. And my whole goal is that they argue, in all honesty. That's the truth. So making sure that the kids are asking the questions and asking the questions of the owner of the bill really helps them get to it. I have bribed someone to be contrary to bills before with like extra credit points or something to kind of get a little bit more idea about how someone could instigate or slow down the legislative process. But I take all the opportunities I can to express everything I know about how Congress actually works, how committee works, how committee work is, etc. And I do it during this process. And so if they have a question or they have a problem, I address it at this time. But I'm going to let you go because I have 15 seconds to say goodbye, and I hope that helps you. I hope that gives you an idea.